We did one of the hardest hikes in America with no training. We took on the Enchantments near Leavenworth, Washington State, doing 32 kilometers in one day, and even though it did a number on us, it was one of the best hikes I ever been on. Come with us on an adventure of a lifetime as I give you some key information and tips to make hiking the Enchantments your next trip. Or if you just want to see some beautiful views, then make sure you watch through this video. We started our day at 4 a.m. getting ready, eating a bite, and heading to the Snow Lakes parking lot to catch our shuttle. After a quick 20-minute ride, we began our hike in the dark forest with our headlamps. This initial 6 kilometers is all forest with little views and some gradual elevation. The hike really starts once you hit Colchuck Lake, which is famous for its beautiful color. Take some time here to take it all in, as the trail will curl around the lake to bring you to the base of Asgard's Pass. The initial viewpoint of the lake as you exit the forest is probably one of the nicer views, but there are some little spots along the rim of the lake. After taking some time to grab a bite and mentally prepare ourselves, we tackled Asgard's Pass. This part of the trail is without a doubt the most tough mentally and physically. You're going up the pass the whole time, and you'll also need to scramble at certain spots. The path might not be very clear at points, but there are cairns to guide you. There are water sources along this section, so don't worry about carrying a lot of water with you as you begin. It is also probably key to bring some wind protection and extra layers, as about halfway up, the wind was getting stronger and made it quite cold. This climb took us about 2 hours to complete and really challenged us. I would advise you to take lots of breaks and take your time so you don't gas out, but at least the views of the lake are stunning the whole climb up. After one tough climb, we celebrated at the top, took in all the views, and marched forward into the core area. We took a nice lunch break here, taking in all the beautiful alpine lakes. I would definitely recommend to take your time here and take lots of stops, as this section is without a doubt the most beautiful. One cool viewpoint was this overlook of the lake below. It was so nice that we did share it with a mountain goat and their young. As we went forward, the views never stopped being amazing and we couldn't believe what we saw. The trail will take you lower and lower, and you'll eventually think you're nearing the bottom, but you'll turn a corner and a new valley appears. The trail is really just endless views with lakes, mountains, and beautiful scenery. Online, the trail is listed between 28 to 35 kilometers, so we weren't really sure how far along we were. At one point, we thought we might be about 2 kilometers away from the parking lot, so we decided to run the last bit. Little did we know, we actually had about 6 kilometers left, and pretty much gassed out. Despite our failure, it was definitely a funny sight and a funny moment to be running through the forest, laughing and giggling. As you move along, you will near closer to the end as you pass through these forest sections and switchbacks. Honestly, the views here are still nice, but not quite what you see earlier, and at this point, we just wanted to get to the car. You'll know you're really close once you hit these big switchbacks in the forest. Once we got to the car, we were relieved and physically destroyed, but we had made lifetime memories. The Enchantments day hike was about 32 kilometers in length as a point-to-point trail. We clocked a total of about 15 hours total and 12 hours walking time. The hike gains an elevation of about 1,400 meters. The hike starts off in the forest, and you gain a gradual elevation until you hit Colchuck Lake, where you then work on the infamous Asgard's Pass. Here you'll gain about 700 meters in elevation, over 1.7 kilometers or 1 mile. At this peak, you're about a third of the distance, but the rest of the trail is flat or at a decline. This does sound nice, but doing 20 kilometers of decline on a rocky terrain really takes its tolls on the knees. Since the hike is point to point, you can hike it either direction, but starting from Stewart Lakes and going to Snow Lakes is the preferred method, as you reduce elevation gain and less of the trail is at an incline. To accommodate this hike, most will park their cars at Snow Lakes, which is the end of the hike, and get a shuttle to Stewart Lakes. I personally use Leavenworth shuttle, and they're pretty solid, costing about $60 USD a person, and I'll link them below. A permit is required for a day hike, but can be done at the trailhead without any online reservation. Overnight permits are available, but are notoriously hard to get, and is even given out in a lottery system. I haven't had a chance to do this, but if you're lucky enough to get one, definitely follow through on it. Along the trail, you're sure to encounter some wildlife such as deer and goats, but bears have also been sighted, so it's important to think about bear safety as well. In terms of water sources, there are plenty of streams and lakes along the way, so a single filtration unit should be enough, and you don't need to lug around a huge water bottle. Lastly, there are several bathroom areas along the trail which are marked by signs. Just make sure to bring your own wipes. The Enchantment Trail is located about 10 minutes from the town of Leavenworth, a small Bavarian-style town famous for its culture and architecture. There are plenty of great hotels and places to eat in town as well. We booked a stay at the Icicle Village Resort and had an amazing experience. I also recommend grabbing a bite at Visconti's, a cozy Italian restaurant with amazing pasta. The hike will literally take you all day, so packing correctly is key. Really quickly, on screen is all the things I brought and just how many things I brought with me. Pause for that here. Looking back, the hike was really special as you never really see anything like these alpine lakes nested in the mountains. You definitely will see people on the trail, but the lack of crowds and scenery really make it all an incredible experience. I couldn't recommend doing this hike enough, as we all did it without training as well, but we all generally keep fit with sports, so if you haven't done any activity, I would train a little bit for this. Let me know in the comments if you've done this hike or what you thought of the trip. I also made a full Washington State travel guide for other places I went to on this trip, like my time in Leavenworth, Elfin Lakes in Vancouver, and Mount Rainier. Check out the video here. See y'all on the next trip.